Hi guys, so I want to refresh your memory of Lord Digby Jones, Brexiteer, who back in 2016, following the referendum, said that the German car industry, German industry would be banging at Angela Merkel's door, demanding that they do trade with the UK because the UK is so important. And there would be no possibility that trade would be lost because tariffs would not be imposed or something like that. Well, let's hear what he actually said back in 2016.
Germany sells 1 million cars a year in Britain. So the first time that this Frenchman who's going to be negotiating for Brussels says, well, we're going to put 10% on tariff on every Jaguar that's sold in Berlin, I sincerely hope that the Brit doing it the other way will say, well, then there's 10% on every BMW sold in Britain. And the moment that happens, and every Audi, and every Mercedes, and every Fiat. So the moment you say, well, I'm sticking a 10% tariff on every Focus that's made in Valencia and sold in Birmingham, I sincerely hope that the boss of Ford, well, I know I'm right, the boss of Ford, the boss of Audi, the boss of Mercedes, straight into Merkel, saying, what are you doing?
Sticking with Germany, it looks like Britain is about to lose its status as one of Germany's top trading partners this year. This would be the first time since 1950. This, of course, is a result of Brexit and Great Britain becoming a third country. Imports to Germany from Britain dropped by about 11% in the first half of this year. This is according to data from the German Federal Statistics Office. This equals about 16.1 billion euros. Remember, Liz Truss recently promoted a trade deal with Mexico that would boost trade by £50 million over 5 years. 16.1 billion lost in 6 months. Ironically, the opposite is true when it comes to German exports to the UK. They actually rose by 2.6%. This equals about 32.1 billion euros. However, while it rose, trade with other countries rose also, meaning Britain was still knocked off the top 10 to 11th position. About 20% of German companies in 2020 were reorganizing their supply chains in anticipation of Brexit. Germany has been active in shifting away from British suppliers to others on the continent. It also looks like things are not going to get any better for British exporters, as the British Chamber of Commerce in Germany said via a spokesperson. More and more small and medium-sized companies are ceasing to trade in Britain because of these Brexit-related hurdles. The spokesperson also mentioned how customs controls that began in January had had a terrible effect on trade. Many companies anticipated the problems, so they decided to pull forward imports by increasing stocks. While there was a surge in demand both ways towards the end of 2020, the first 6 months of this year have eliminated most of those gains. Things are predicted to get much worse from January next year when Britain begins full checks on goods flowing into the country, something that isn't happening at the moment. The sectors most hit by the slump in imports from Britain were pharmaceuticals, which dropped about 50%, but much worse were agricultural products, which crashed a massive 80%. The Chamber of Commerce spokesperson went on to say, many small companies simply can't afford the extra burden of keeping up to date and complying with all the kicking customs rules such as health certificates for cheese and other fresh products. This new reality following Brexit and now that Britain is a third country have both harmed British and German companies. However, the latter seems to be dealing with the red tape a bit better as they have more experience with dealing with markets outside the European Union. Many businesses in Britain, especially the smaller ones, are struggling as the learning curve has been extremely steep. But the extra costs involved have created their own problems. New staff have to be hired, or consulting firms need to be brought in to help deal with this new reality. This is all a major financial headache for small and medium-sized enterprises. While companies based in the EU have access to a wider supply base, Great Britain is an island in more ways than one. If UK-based companies want to continue to operate, they either have to adapt to the new reality or find export markets outside the European Union, which of course is easier said than done. Brexit meant losing your most important export market. That isn't something you can replace overnight. The British Chamber of Commerce in Germany was hopeful that companies would adapt as they normally do to a changing climate, but I fear it may be too big of a change for some. Brexit has demonstrated it can be detrimental to every sector. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?